Hey everybody. Sorry if my hair's not whatever. Um, man, I don't want. I'm a little conflicted because on one hand, I know how important it is to express yourself and to share how you're feeling, not only for others to know, um, but also for yourself. Keeping very powerful toxic feelings, like if you don't have a way to process that or to deal with that or to transmutate that, that shit's gonna fuck you up. And especially in the world that we're living in with everything going on, it's more than likely going to continue to get worse. Um, so again, if we had, what that's what humanity needs. Like if you try to imagine a species or a collective of information or a bunch of beings that are all their own little informational devices, and together they create their own larger collective field as well as their individual field. If you look at them like that, the it's possible if their perception is swayed in a particular way that they can become motivated from things that are more closely associated with selfishness and a desire to please themselves. And when that becomes the mantra, when that becomes the way, when that becomes what they strive for, which is what I feel America and most of the world has turned into, it just makes sense that they're going to continue to go down a path that continues not to care for others. And unfortunately, that's what we have here right now. So, and this is where Christianity also plays a real powerful part because, on one hand, you have a lot of the really good people that came here with like a lot of beauty and goodness and divinity and ability to help heal others and themselves. They've, I feel, have fallen under, I call it under because it's like a spell, the Christian spell, which for the most part keeps, from what I've seen from most Christians, they operate from a place that's, yes, they're of a decent mindset, but for the most part, they don't do much to really reach out and really reach out and help others. I haven't seen that much of it. That's just my experience. I've also, I mean, I, and I've spent some good time online and in real life talking with people and trying to see, like testing the waters and seeing how open they are to even just hearing out somebody with ideas like I'm sharing with just the intent to help starving children. Like you think that, I mean, if an organization was really about like helping those in need and like following the word of Christ, which I think to me that's the paramount message, is to sacrifice yourself for the greater good. Like that's the core feeling I get when I think about being a good Christian in Christ. It's all about how much more can I give to the world, how much more can I help out, how much more love can I spread, how much more wounds can I help heal, and broken bridges can I help mend and build back together. That's what it means. And if that's what y'all feels like it means, then it just is common sense the starving children would be the first place that our attention would go towards. But it's not. Um, and it saddens the fuck out of me, to be honest with you. But beyond all that, I believe it's by design, and I don't think they want us working on things like helping starving children for a number of reasons. First of all, if these people really are feeding off these kids like they're their fucking like they're their dinner, I mean that's, and the way we treat animals, unfortunately, it's easy for me to imagine like malevolent extraterrestrials treating us in a way like we treat rabbits and chickens and shit. I mean, we test them, we eat them, we cut them up, we do all sorts of very gross, like hurtful things to them. We feed on them. Like, we kill them just so we can survive. Like, their death is necessary for our survival. It isn't necessary, but we've chosen to bring it into our lives and make it a part of our essential, our desired meal, even though I don't think human beings need meat. That's another thing that we've been changed in, and shout out to 13 for bringing that attention to me. But just to think about how we treat animals, that is a perfect example for y'all to just use your imaginations to think how easy it could be for malevolent extraterrestrials to treat us like that. And if they were feeding off of us in some type of like a slave type manner, they wouldn't want us knowing about it. Because if we knew about it, we would revolt. So it makes sense that they would keep these things under lock and key and away from the view. Um, so anyway, getting back to my main point is if we had something like working on people that really need help, like starving, killed children, energetically try to imagine the change that will happen in people's spirit. Because that's what we need. We need a spiritual change. We need something to help cultivate a true change in the human psyche, in the human emotion, in the human spirit. So the more that we do things that help others enlighten our energetic field and our vibrations, the better off we all are. And then there's the logistics of this process. In order to solve this problem, it literally requires us to figure out a way to get food from one place to another. So that effort, that task in itself is going to help prepare us for the times that we're in. Because I have a strong feeling that they're going to, at some point, pull our supply chains out from us, leaving the majority of Americans and people without the ability to get their basic food, water, medicine, supplies. So it takes care of multiple. I mean, there's the current problem of the kids starving to death, and then there's the potential future problem of us losing our ability to access our supply chain. And then there's also the ability that I'm hoping that this, because of the way the hemp plant is and what it can do, and how massive I want this project to be, I'm really hoping, and I feel like it will, gradually reduce the price for goods, so that organic foods will be that much cheaper, and also I want to make it easier for people to get. So, but y'all gotta realize, man, it's. I keep saying that, but I mean, if y'all want to help me out, like the best thing that you guys could do is just to talk about the starving kids, just to bring attention to like the necessity of humanity needing to change our ways. Like that's where we're at. Like we can't keep this capitalistic American society has gotten us into a lot of trouble. It's gotten us out of a lot of trouble. Like the intent of the forefathers was super beautiful. What America has turned into is nothing. I don't think like for the most. It's more of what the forefathers wouldn't want than what it is they would want. I think, and I think you can even it's not even really think. I think you can base it on facts based on the information they left from us. If you define those words and you look at what we have today, it doesn't match up. The definitions that our forefathers had for this country does not line up well at all with what our country has turned into. So there's plenty of reason, there's plenty of merit, is that the right word? To get this thing done and to get this thing going. Um, so, I just, it's sad for me too, because I'm so fucking lonely. I just having just somebody in my life that I could talk to about this shit, that's not gonna, I don't know, man, I don't mind criticism. I don't want to be manipulated. Like I've dealt with a lot of people that just use me just to use me, and um, we got to learn how to care for each other, man. Anyway, all right, I love y'all. Peace.